All right. What's going on, party people? Yo, this your man Griff. Wonderful Sunday, September 15th, about 12:15 in the afternoon. Just finished one house inspection. On my way to do another. Then got to stop by the house and grab something for the missus. I want to take that to her. She's doing some makeup training with one of her cosmetology students today, and she forgot something there, so I'm gonna go by and grab that, and then keep on trucking on the rest of my house inspections. I got seven of them, so I'm gonna get all seven done today and all of that. So yeah, so I posted a video on Instagram, and I'm gonna do one here. It seems like it's just easy for me sometimes to do them to record them separate. And on Instagram, I had to come with a little bit different energy because of some stuff that people keep putting out there and saying about me. One of the little narratives is that I don't like women, and the point of this video is about training. And the reason why I'm bringing that up about the women thing is because what I've learned, I've seen, and my wife sees it, that a lot of ladies are in this business and they do a lot of the training, and a lot of them are really depending on you taking training from them. And my thing is that I do question what they are training you in. I question what everybody's training you in, even them suckers that's on Instagram, some of them guys that's over there, the Tiger Toledos and all of them. Okay. I question everybody. And if you're saying something that's not founded, if you can't back up what you're saying, I'm gonna push back, and that's what I do. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's unfortunate. Always a natural thing to say unfortunate, but the situation is that a lot of young ladies make comments about things that I say and do, or just about this business, and I question it. And people don't like that a man, and just being honest with you, sometimes a black man is saying something back toward a young lady who is making a statement or trying to, be a boss and get her business going and all of that. And the truth of the matter is that what you're saying is not founded. I'm not saying that it's wrong, because I mean, for me, it might be wrong, but to somebody, where's your basis on it? And the point that I'm making is that, like the title of this video, what are notaries really being trained to do? So many people want to have a training company. So many people want to teach us how to do this business right. But when you look at what are you really training us to do, whether you're a man, woman, young, old, black, white, Asian, Indian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. What are you really training us to do that's going to make me better at my job? And do you understand what my job is? And the reason why I bring that up is because, and y'all heard me talk about this in other videos, about me being asked, or just notaries in general being asked to do things by the signing company or the title company that's not actually um, legal. It's not in accordance with our state laws. It's not what we're supposed to do as notaries, but they want us to do it anyway. And a lot of times it's because other notaries do it, but it doesn't mean that it's right. And I had a situation this past Friday. Everything worked out where, again, there was closing funds that needed to be collected. The instructions said that the people don't want to or don't have a check or whatever, they need to wire it. The people were like, "We're not wiring. Why can't we just give you the check?" And I had to explain to them that I'm not allowed to collect closing funds. They had to call their loan officer, make sure they understood what was going on, because the closing funds was not going to be sent back with the closing documents that I had. And the loan officer was like, "Well, why can't you?" They're like, "What do you mean? That is I don't get this." And I said, "Well, ma'am, that's a state law. State law says I can." And she was like, "Well, then how come they didn't get somebody who could do it?" And I said, "Who?" Talking about talking about the title company. I said, "I don't know. Maybe they didn't know." "Well, how come they didn't know?" I said, "That's a good question." And see, the thing is this, I'm supposed to know what my state laws are, and I'm supposed to execute them and do, what they say. The issue is that notaries are being trained in stuff that has nothing to do with notarial law. And then when we get across a signing company or a title company that does not know what our state law is. They just know what they do and what they was told to do. In other words, W-2 employees of those institutions, of those entities. And it's like, then you come along following your state law and says, I can't do that. I can't do that. No, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I almost had a British accent there for some reason. I can't do that. And they're like, what do you mean you can't? Because we've told other notaries, and note the word, we've told other notaries to do it and they did it. And now you're saying you're not going to do it. And I said, it's not a point of me not saying I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I can't refuse to do something that I'm not allowed to do. It's that simple. So you're not going to drive the car down the street that you 15-year-old. No, I'm not allowed to. I don't have a license. I don't have what is proper for me to do ... And I wake up this morning and I see all this stuff on Instagram and everywhere else talking about all this training and we're going to have this conference and that conference. And I'm like, what are we really being trained to do? And it's all these, okay, we're going to bring in this loan officer and this escrow person and this title person. And I'm like, okay, but who's training the title people in what notary should do? Because if the title company is telling us to do something that we're not legally allowed to do, then what is the recourse? How do we address it? How do we get this fixed if I know what my state law says? So if you're in a state, say North Carolina, California, that specifically says this is what notaries can and can't do, you're doing a closing for a company that is out of, let's just say, New Mexico, and they're like, well, in New Mexico, notaries can do this, but I'm not in New Mexico. Well, we've had other notaries in your state do this, but that doesn't mean that it was done right or that it was correct and they should have been doing it. Well, all I know is they did it and you need to do it too. Why do I need to do something that I'm not legally allowed to do? Well, I don't know if you're legally allowed to do it. I just know it needs to be done. And that's what the title company said. This is what my boss said. Everybody said you need to do this. And I'm like, but where's the proof that I'm supposed to do that? And that's when things get, okay, I guess you're just being difficult. And I'm like, at any point in time, does the title company take the time out to learn whether or not what they want a notary to do in a state that is not theirs is supposed to happen, or in a state that is there? Because they could be in this, and that's essentially what the young lady, the loan officer lady, was asking me, like, well, why did they select you? And at first I got offended. And she was like, I'm not trying to be, she said, no, she's like, if that's the state law, if that's the law, then you can't collect closing funds unless you are has a settlement. Then why did they select you? If this is what they wanted done, they wanted you to collect the closing funds. Why did they select you? And I said, that's a good question. And then my offense went away real quick. I was like, hey, they don't need me to be offended, because what she brings out is a valid point. And then the question then becomes, again, do they know about this? They may or may not. I know that the state of Virginia requires all title companies to be aware, and they make sure they know that Virginia notaries can't collect closing funds unless there's a settlement license. If you don't have a settlement license, you're not bonded and have dishonest employee insurance along with E&O insurance for that title position, and you shouldn't be doing that. You're not supposed to do that. So it's clearly established law. The problem is nobody knows it. Signature Closer teaches it. The NNA does teach it. There's a lot of people who know it, but unfortunately, individuals don't. So my question then becomes, here you want a notary from Virginia to go to your conference and wherever, and you're not teaching us notary law. Well, we don't know your notary law. Okay, then have somebody who does. Because then I'm coming to your conference not knowing my state law, and what then, as the title of this says, then what am I being trained to do? What am I really being trained to do? Because if I'm a notary less than a year and I haven't hardly done any closings or done any notary work at all, then the question becomes, how does your training help me to make money when I can't even do the job of a notary? Because I don't know what to do. And even if I did take training from my state, I'm still a little iffy on it. And I know people say, well, That's on you. You need to learn that. Then I can learn everything else that I need to know. Why do I need to come to your training? Why do I need to be trained by you to do something that I actually can learn how to do? Because the hardest thing to me probably is making sure you understand your notarial laws. And if that's the hardest thing that I would have to learn how to do, then everything else should be easy, and I should have the wherewithal and the mental capable capacity to be able to learn that. I should be able to learn how to do all this other stuff. I should not have to depend on you to teach me this Google business page, how to get business cards, how to do Canva. I can figure that out. They make it easy. They got tutorials on all of that stuff that you're telling me to pay you to learn. But what I really need to know how to do is my job. But then you have to define what your job is. See, everybody talks about having a notary resume, but what is the notary job description? Everybody's always talking about having a notary resume, walking around with a notary resume in hand and show them your resume and what you did as a notary. But what is the job description? Because the resume is supposed to match the job. The resume is supposed to show that you can do the job, and you don't know what the job is, then your resume is worthless. You have a resume for a job that you don't even know what the description of it is. Come on, somebody. You know that'll preach on a Sunday. Woo, that was a good one there. You got a resume for a job description that you don't even know. That's where we are at, people. That is where we are at. Oh, that's what we're going. So I'm just a little confused. You know what I'm saying? I'm confused. Everybody wants the notary to be so well versed and so well educated. And I understand because of that, for some notaries, they've told me, because you want me to be so well versed and educated, then guess what? You're going to have to pay me more. Because guess what? In any other industry, any other area of life, the more educated I am, the more I should be getting compensated. But now the question then becomes, do the people who I'm doing work for that's paying me recognize the education that I've paid for? Because if they don't recognize the education or respect the people who train me in ... or are looking for me to be trained in ... they're like, why am I paying you for something that we don't really care for you to do? Well, that's another one, boy. That right there. That's next week's sermon. No, that's when you say that's Bible study right there. That one is Bible study. But the point that I'm making is simply, we're being asked to get trained in stuff. And I don't know if this is stuff that we are really supposed to be, well, personally, but do we really supposed to be doing it? And if we're not supposed to be doing this, then how can we expect somebody to pay us a high fee for doing something that they actually don't even expect us to do? I don't expect you to do that, but I have the ability to do it. That's great. You have the ability to do it, but that ain't what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I'm gonna pay you for doing what I need you to do. Can you do that? That's what we're getting paid for. Not for what we got trained to do, but what we are actually hired to do. Because how many people are out here in W-2s, they got a lot of training, but what they're actually being paid to do has nothing to do with their training. Has nothing to do with that degree. And you know I'm telling you the truth. So the question then becomes, what makes you think that is going to be different? Let me get over here. What makes you think this is going to be different when it comes to you doing notary work? That, oh, I'm going to get all this training, go to every conference, every this, that, and the other. And because I do all of that, they're going to recognize that I'm worth more. That's what this is all about, people. I can't do the work. I don't really know how to be a notary. I'm in Notary Cafe every day asking people how to fill out a notarial certificate. I'm on Facebook groups asking people how to fill out a notarial certificate. But then I'm giving people my notary resume for a job that I don't even know what the description is. And I'm asking them to pay me. Because if you was to ask them, some of these same notary, what is the job description? What is the job of a notary? They couldn't tell you for nothing. If you told me, say, look, I will give you enough work. I will give you $100,000 a year worth of notary work if you can tell me what your state says, what your state says your job is as a notary. How many of you can do that to get that 100K? Very few. And then on top of that, I give you a $50,000 bonus if you can actually do it. Because a lot of people know what they're supposed to do, but not too many people know how to do it. So this is where we're at. So that's why I'm asking the question, what are notaries really being trained to do? What are we truly being trained to do? Because of what you're being trained to do doesn't support what your state says, isn't in line with what your state says, then it's a waste of time and money. And in other words, you probably could go and figure it out yourself. Because the only thing they care about is the fact that you got a commission. They don't care about any of that non-state sponsored training certificates that people are giving you, which are nothing but they're not certification, they're just certificates of completion. That's all they care about. Are you a commissioned notary? Well, yeah, okay, come on down. You know how to notarize a stamp properly? Yeah, okay, come on down. But I do know what the note is. Okay, I don't care about that. That ain't what you're here to do. We already explained that to them. But I know what the deed is and I know what the PCOR is. Okay, well, that's cool, that's cute, but that ain't why we got you here. We got you here because you have a stamp and you're commissioned by your state. Can you do that? Well, not in front of y'all. I can't do it in front of you, but I can do it. I just can't do it in front of you because then, you're going to realize that I really don't know what the heck I'm doing. Now, then you're no good to us. I'm just being real with y'all. I'm just being real with y'all. So, there's a lot more I can say on this. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a whole lot more. I truly, 3909. That's back up to the front. That I can say about this, but I'm not. I'm gonna leave it there, I guess. Because I think y'all know what I could say about it and what I've already said about it. It is 3909. What are we really being trained to do, people? That's the question. It makes you feel good, and I will leave you with this example. It makes you feel good to get trained on all this stuff. But the example is this, and to the young ladies, because it's a lot of ladies that's in this business, a lot of ladies that are doing training and stuff. For those of you who, let's just say in this case, as an example, date men or married to a man, what is one of the biggest gripes and complaints that ladies have about men? No one taught you how to be a man. Oh yeah, you can go out there and work and you can make money and all of that, but no one taught you how to be a man. No one taught you how to love a woman and to take care of her and to support her and to be there for her. That's what y'all want. Oh yeah, he can work all day long. And yeah, he can go and build a deck on the backyard and barbecue up a storm. Okay, cool. He can fix any car you got to save your money. But he won't even take the kids to school. When he see you had a rough day, he won't even at least go buy a pizza. When he sees that things aren't going well with the kids, he won't even take time out and sit down with them from his football game. So you have people who want that spouse to be that for them, but yet they don't be that for you. You've got to train people to be what they're supposed to properly be in accordance with what they have committed to do. And we have committed to being notaries. And you got to train me in order to properly to be that. And that effectively, everything else will fall in place. Because then I don't have a problem with you working 12-hour days. Because after your 12-hour day, if you can take 2 hours just to here's while I go take a bath and just relax and decompress. And I have the meal for you, baby. But I get home, I'm struggling, and you there got the kids running all over the place talking about we hungry, and you couldn't even give them a bowl of cereal or something. and you waiting on me, and I ask you, babe, can you just don't go nowhere. Don't watch the game with it. Watch the cartoons with the kids for a little bit. Keep them entertained while I decompress from work. You complain because that man don't know how to be a man. He was never taught to be. So what do you think these title companies, these signing companies, and these lenders are saying about notaries? Oh, that's cute. You know how to break down a PCOR, but you don't know how to be a notary. Most people don't want to have anything to do with you when you don't know how to be who you're supposed to be. And when you show me you don't know how to be who you're supposed to be, which is who I need you to be in my life, I ain't got nothing for you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Y'all have a good one. Peace.